and it's quick. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Mercedes AMG A35. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the National GMC here in American Fork for giving me some time with this Mercedes AMG. Check out the inventory in the description down below. They have a bunch of cool cars for sale. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. Power outputs are 302 horsepower and then 295 pound-feet of torque, and this also does come with launch control. Now let's go with the front end of the A35. So first off, we've got these really sharp, distinctive lines on either side of the hood. We have the Mercedes-Benz logo front and center, and then down below as well. And then you guys can see here with the daytime running light, and then look at the headlights as well, super bright LEDs. We've got parking sensors here on the front end, and then you guys can see the canard off to the side. AMG logo as well. And then just look how aggressive the front end is on the car. And there you go. Coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. Of course, we have the giant AMG brake caliper and rotor as well. You guys remember, this isn't a large car, and it's got pretty big rotors. Again, those are 19-inch wheels, AMG wheels. We have our Turbo 4MATIC badge here on the side. Notice the chrome at the top of the door handles, and it's all blacked out pretty much other than the wheels, and there's your side view. Now here's our key fob. We have our lock function, unlock the opening here for the trunk, and then you got your AMG logo as well. So press that, and it'll pop it right open. And we're not gonna like dig through and everything because this is a demo car, but all you guys need to know is that storage space back there is solid. If you guys want to see like more in depth of the trunk stuff, I have a review on the A220, just go watch that. Boom. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you guys can see here with the spoiler how it kind of like pops right up. Got your AMG logo, your A35 badge, and then look at the taillights here on the A-Class. And then you can see here with the parking sensors at the bottom. I love the little venting there on the side, and then the exhaust tips. You guys will like the sound of the exhaust a little bit later. And then the diffuser as well. And there's just a lot of subtle things to show that this is, well, an AMG. Going over the door panel here, you guys can see the white leather. Definitely love the contrast that creates with the car. And here are these seats. So again, in the contrast of the white and the black, definitely looks cool. You guys can see here with the stitching design there in the center of the seats. And then popping in, man, it is windy today. There's legroom. My hair is crazy right now. You guys can see the little cargo net here. Got some vents as well. We have our cup holder armrest situation here in the center. On top of that, let's head to the front. Now here's the front door panel. You guys can see again with the leather trim, and then notice all of our window controls here. The mirrors do power fold in. They also have blind spot monitoring. We've got memory seats, heated seats for the front, and here's the front seat. So again, you guys can see here with the trim. I love the two-tone design. Definitely cool. And then since the adjustments are on the side of the door, you don't really have anything there. And then also the passenger gets a heated seats and memory seats and seat adjustments. Pedal layout down below. We've got our AMG floor mat. Light control right here, and then you guys can see the material use there on the dash. Let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel. You guys can see the leather trim at the top and at the bottom with our AMG logo. And then notice we got the Alcantara here on the side. We got our AMG paddle shifters. Controls for the center stack, cruise control. We've got controls for the infotainment system, volume controls, drive mode select, and then we have a bunch of adjustments here on the side with either one of these little screens. So it's pretty cool setup overall. So like with the drive mode select, you just twist for the drive modes, right? Pretty straightforward. With these, you press this screen to change what it shows. And sorry about the blur on the camera. It doesn't want to focus with my finger because it's too white. But notice I can change like AMG dynamics, and then you press this button to actually change the function. So yeah, there's so many different things that you can customize with this. It looks cool, it's practical, I love it, and there's the steering wheel. So here's the center gauge cluster. It's a full digital gauge cluster. There's a bunch of different menus that you can scroll through here to see different bits of info on the car. It's pretty cool, the customization here with Mercedes digital gauge cluster. Definitely, I think one of the best in the car industry, if not the best. And then you guys can see here with the rest of the screen, all the different bits of info you can scroll through, and you can even change the design. Ha! I didn't mean to press on service. I meant to press on Oh my goodness. Look at this. I'm just jumping the gun. Don't even know what I'm doing. So we can change it. So for example, we can go to sport if we want, and then it'll change the overall look of it. The Super Sport though, I think is probably the best looking one from a, just appearance perspective. So here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines. They turn with the steering wheel, and notice we have a bunch of different camera viewpoints here. We've got this full 360 camera system, so super practical from a camera system perspective. As for the rest of the screen, response time is fantastic, and you guys can see you've got the seat kinetics, and we have ambient lighting as well here. But you can control the screen via the little keypad thing on the steering wheel if you want, or the little keypad down below, or use it as a normal touchscreen. So really easy to use, and the double screen layout, I think it looks great. We've got a bunch of climate control vents down below. We have our engine start with our auto stop start function, and then dual zone climate controls here. We've got some storage space right there, a couple of cup holders, and then you guys can see here with like the volume control here, and then some shortcut buttons for the infotainment system, and then this is the other keypad. So there's lots of ways to control the infotainment system. Now drive modes, we got a bunch of them. So you guys can see we've got our Sports and Sport Plus, and notice what it changes there with the drive mode. And then we have on the other side Comfort, Individual, and then Slippery from a drive mode perspective. And then we have our manual mode right there, which if the camera will focus on it, there we go. That lets you shift into in and out of manual mode, stability control on the other side, and then normal center console setup. And then same thing with the glove box, pretty normal setup there. And then you guys can kind of see the ambient lighting here. And then notice the trim there on the dash. And again, I love these vents. They're so cool. Finishing things up at the top though, we do have not a panoramic sunroof, but it's like a larger type sunroof. And yeah, there you go. Now this car has been discontinued. So obviously pricing has gone all over the place. But if you guys want to see the most up-to-date price on this particular car, check out National GMC's website in the description down below. Let's drive it. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. Both the mirrors, again, they do have blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let's set off. So, setting off in the A35. And it's sad that this car has been discontinued because it's just such a special car. Now, the one thing that's even more sad than the fact that this is discontinued is the fact that we never got the hatchback version here in the US. We got the GLA, which is like the SUV version, but we didn't get the hatchback, which I think would have been such a cool car, and I probably would have bought that over the Ford Focus RS when I had that car, just to be completely honest. But we're in the Sports Plus setting here, and it's quick. It is quick. I want to see how the transmission is. Wow. So really responsive with the gear shifts. Like, look at this, partial throttle and just partial throttle. It just, listen to that, super quick. And you can shift into first while moving. So responsive, that's impressive. And the steering's really tight too, actually. Listen to those sounds. The fact that you can, shift into first while moving and it's smooth is so cool. And it makes bops out the back end in normal AMG fashion. This is such a cool car. I'm gonna pop it back into automatic mode. I know it's a little bit of a shorter test drive, but I've actually driven quite a few A-classes, and so I just really needed to kind of get a feel for the A35 version. So first off, I think it looks great on the outside. I think the A-Class looks great, and then this just kind of adds to it the flair, right? It's got all the little AMG things. And then interior on the new A-Class is fantastic. Like, infotainment system's great, the steering wheel is fantastic. I love the little controls. Like, this feels so cool. Like, to change the drive mode, I can do that. And then, if I want to change, like, the dynamics, I can, like, look at that. I can do that right there, and then like stability control, right? It's just so cool. Like I feel like I'm doing something, I don't know, I feel like I'm like a fighter jet pilot or something. I don't know, it's just fun. But yeah, I'm sad that Mercedes discontinued this. It's such a fun car. And so yeah, if you basically want a really fun, lightweight, fast car that's also a luxury car, that's what the A35 gives you. And there's not a lot of cars out there that are like this. I know some people make comparisons to like BMW and Audi, but neither of those automakers make cars that drive quite as special as how this drives, if that makes sense. There you go. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this A35. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the National GMC here in American Fork for giving me some time with this A35. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I will see all of you in that next video.